Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up there this morning. Hope everybody's doing good on this finally freaking Friday. Tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, we'll be live streaming. I'll have my man DMV joining us as we break down some of the things that we have seen in the Combine. And man, we are literally watching some history here at the Combine, because yesterday we had nine receivers run under 4.4, which is the first time in history that's happened. Led by Tyquan Thornton. Brother man, watch. Just watch.
Baylor, these times are
look
unofficial.
At this.
However,
look at this.
If it's official,
I tell you what. Now, here's the thing about the Combine.
Baylor, these times are
It's beyond just speed. Now, here's what happens with the Combine. All of a sudden, you're going to see some guys that, we're kind of, down there a little low. They go through the Combine, and all of a sudden, they're workout warriors. And all of a sudden, people say, oh, my God, you got to get this guy. And the reality is track stars don't always make the best football players, except for Bob Bullet Hayes. You could say Skeets Nehemiah, hurdler. Did pretty good, but in general terms, it's more than just straight ahead speed, because very rarely are you just going straight ahead. But with that being said,
if it's official,
you still need to have speed, and the NFL right now is just getting faster and faster and faster. And this is across the board, not just wide receivers and running backs, but it's also defensive linemen, edge rushers. This is why Micah Parsons is good, because he's big, he's strong, he's got great hands, and he's fast. And most offensive linemen that are giving up 50, 60 pounds can't keep up with them. So speed is what you need. And talking about speed at wide receiver, it seems to be that Amari Cooper coming back would be, like against all odds. That it seems to be, at least as people are talking, a foregone conclusion that Amari Cooper is leaving the building. And here's what happens. A couple things happen. You get to the Combine, and a lot of work is actually done at the Combine. Coaches and front office people, GMs and owners start falling in love with some of the new pieces out there. And they look and they say, if we can draft a guy to replace a high salary guy, we got a guy that's young, a guy hopefully that won't be as injured as much, and we're going to save a boatload of money, because when you re-sign guys, you end up, of course, paying premium money. So as you start looking and saying, there's 9 guys that are able to run under 4.4. That's just amazing. That late in the first round, you'd have an opportunity to get one of those guys. Cowboys also looking at tight ends and knowing that Dalton Schultz is one of those guys that, do I pay him a big salary? I played Blake Jarwin, a reasonable contract, and haven't really gotten the money out of him. And now we may have a catastrophic hip injury, surgery, that we're already saying he won't be ready to start the season, week 1. I don't know why they say he won't be ready week 1 as if he'll be ready for week 2. If you're already forecasting that he's not going to be ready for week 1, just say he's just not going to be ready to start the season. Just say he's not going to be ready to start the season. Because we are always told the perfect scenario, best case scenario, when it comes to injuries. And usually it's not the best case for us when we have these injuries. So you may end up looking for the Cowboys to clear house. Now, the other part of this equation is you don't want people to know what you are planning on doing. You know what I'm saying? You don't want people to know, hey, we are looking at a wide receiver in the draft. You want to be able to have plausible deniability where people will say, oh my God, they want, CeeDee Lamb, so I need to jump up and get CeeDee Lamb. You want to keep it a mystery. The Cowboys, they interviewed Micah Parsons, but they kept it quiet last year. So people didn't know that was the guy that they wanted. And so you may be seeing some of the great deception that's going on with Amari Cooper, although we don't have much time left to wait because basically come the 19th, the contracts become fully guaranteed. So the course of the next 2 weeks, you're going to see a lot of players that are going to be released and on the streets. Big name players. And if you're going to trade a quarterback and things, Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, you want to do it before the 19th, before those salaries become guaranteed. But I think what you're seeing here is teams looking at the landscape of quarterbacks that you don't look and say, here's a guy I can plug in and start right now. And knowing that right now there's not a lot of great quarterbacks that are going to be on the free agent market. Yes, Washington has called everybody. Yes, the Washington football team said, hey, you interested in trading Pat Mahomes? And I'm sure Kansas City was like, are you smoking crack? Is this a prank call? This is a prank call, isn't it? You're not really calling to see if we're going to trade Pat Mahomes, are you? But they literally called everybody. So for all you guys that said trade Dak, well, that was your opportunity to trade Dak. You could have traded him to Washington. But the problem is if I were to trade Pat Mahomes and get 4 number ones, I don't have a quarterback. And on the horizon, there are no quarterbacks there to replace him. And this is where teams are looking. Now, we heard, of course, Pete Carroll said, we're not interested in trading Russell Wilson. You know why you say that? You say that because you're asking people, give me an offer. We're not planning on trading him. But we didn't say we're not going to trade Russell Wilson. We're not planning on trading Russell Wilson. So teams, call us with your offers and we'll see about that. But I think you're seeing teams that are now realizing, because we're hearing that Aaron Rodgers, maybe it's looking more and more like Aaron Rodgers is going to be back in Green Bay. And if you're Aaron Rodgers, quite frankly, I'm not sure that you're going to have a better situation out there. You certainly don't want to go to Washington where quarterbacks' careers go to die. There's not a lot of places you can go to have a better situation than what you have in Green Bay. And Green Bay realizes that Jordan Love is not the answer. You're looking at New Orleans at saying, Jameis Winston isn't really the guy that we truly want at quarterback. But when we look at the landscape, the devil we know is better than the one we don't. And looking at this, we're not ready to give up 3 or 4 number ones to try and get a Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson. We're better off sticking with this guy and then trying to get one later on. So everybody is saying that except for the Colts, who are definitely looking for somebody a little bit better than Carson Wentz. So herein lies the issue for all the teams. And for the Cowboys, it's easy for them to fall in love with seeing some of these receivers out here, knowing that they've had great luck with getting CeeDee Lamb, who fell into their laps, as well as Micah Parsons. And their goal may be, let's just roll the dice and see if we can get some of these young pups. And, of course, there's always Juju Smith-Schuster that's out there as well, if you feel like we need to get a little bit more and don't get the guy we want in the draft. And these are the decisions that the Dallas Cowboys are making right now. And thus far, as we sit here, guys, we're only 10 days away from legal tampering of free agency. And it seems like Dalton Schultz is one of those guys. They're going to let him test free agency, much like they did Amari Cooper. They haven't gotten any contract signed. 0. So I'm not sure what the Cowboys are waiting on, but they're definitely going to have to do a whole lot of work over the course of the next 10 days. Or maybe not. Maybe they're just going to say, we're going to let everybody walk, see how many compensatory picks we can get down the road, and build for later. I don't know. I have no idea what the Dallas Cowboys are doing. So that's all we got it this morning to get started with, but we've got a lot to be talking about during the day. I'm sure some news will be breaking on the Dallas Cowboys, and yeah, we'll be here to bring it to you. So with that being said, you know how we roll.
Our Coach here, as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
Just did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is